All right, what up, y'all? It's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get into it. All right, we in real life today. So we out here. We headed to Myrtle. You know what I'm saying? I ran out of energy drinks, so I'm going to get some more. I'm wondering why the screen looks so small. You know. Anyway, I slowed up a little bit with with the YouTube for a second because I was having technical difficulties with my camera. I still am, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for a little walk. Might as well take advantage and launch a live. I was hoping the screen would be bigger, but it looks so small on my phone. I guess it's because they want you to see the other options, you know. But we out here right now. Check it out. Gates Avenue, the almighty Gates Ave. Gates Avenue runs all the way down to the end of Glendale. Well, not the end of Glendale, but it runs all the way to Fresh Pond. It gets cut off a little bit after Fresh Pond. But when you go down towards Brooklyn this way, Gates goes all the way to Fort Greene. It runs through Bushwick, it runs through Bedford Stuyvesant, and I think it goes through Fort Greene. I don't know how far into Fort Greene it goes, but it definitely runs all the way through Bushwick and Bedford Stuyvesant. So this is the famous Gates Avenue. Mano comes from Gates Avenue. You know what I'm saying? There's other famous people that come from Gates Ave. Tons of people come from Bushwick and Bedford Stuyvesant. Biggie, Fabulous, Jay-Z, Tony Touch, Milk from the Audio 2. If you remember, Milk is chilling, Giz is chilling. Yeah, Milk is from Halsey Avenue, I think. You know. So yeah, we had to go get some energy drink. You already know. Yo, go check out the music videos, man. Check out a Spanish Democrat, man. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. Check out Lisa Lopez 1 and 2. Check out Revolutionary Energy, Golden Heart. I Am What I Talk. I changed the name of a couple of videos. I had one of my brother's videos. I had to change the title because it had 2 curse words in the title. And then I had a music video called That Shit, but I had to change that too because it's obvious because shit was in the title. YouTube changed a lot. This is Seneca and Gates right here, man. There used to be a bakery right there. You know what I'm saying? Long time ago. I'm talking about when I first moved here. Your pops used to work there, right? Yeah. My lady's pops used to work there. This is a while ago. Like what it closed down, probably in like the 90s, early, late 80s, probably late 80s, right? Yeah. I used to hang out on this block with my man Eric. My man Eric. I forgot how it's Christina mostly Eric Cruz. That's the name of the something like that. But my man Eric Cruz, we used to be on this block. Andrea used to live on this block. That's Andrea's house right there. And I forget, used to have an aunt that used to live in this house. I'm talking to you like you listening. Hopefully you see this video. Yeah, man, we used to play on this block together, play everything, suicide. I remember they had come out with the little skateboards at that time. I'm gonna be outside a lot now that the weather's hot. So I'm gonna do a lot of streams from outside. I'm gonna be in the park playing basketball. I won't be playing no 3-on-3s yet. Once I start to get my win back, then I'll start to play 3-on-3s. That's the old Spanish man. You can hear him in the background. But yeah, man, this is Gates in Cypress. This is Cypress take you to the Van Wyck Expressway. If you make that left on Cypress, you hit the Van Wyck Expressway, and that'll take you pretty much anywhere you want to go in New York. Go to East New York, Forget where it takes you to when you go in the opposite direction. Big shout to Ridgewood, Queens. You know, I always shout out the woods, man. I always shout out Ridgewood. You know, even though I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant, even though I lived in Bushwick, the longest amount of time I spent in one neighborhood is Ridgewood. Spent 30, what is it, Bugs? 11 years? I spent 39 years in Ridgewood. Got mad love for Ridgewood. I don't know, some people be hummer stunting because they don't they don't think Ridgewood is tough enough. Ridgewood's tough enough, trust me. And even if it wasn't, that don't say nothing. Ridgewood's a beautiful neighborhood. Some people don't want to shout out that they're from Queens or they're from Ridgewood. They be lying. They be like, I'm from Bushwick. No, you don't. No, you're not. You're not from Bushwick. But that's the borderline. We coming up on it right now. Right now, when I cross this block, I'm gonna be in Brooklyn. That right there is the borderline of Queens and Brooklyn. Literally. Right now I'm in Queens, and about 60 yards from now, I'll be in Brooklyn. Oh, been around this neighborhood so long. Ridgewood Grove Arena, you know. What else? The supermarket used to be called the Big R. Now it's called Food Bazaar. You know? That's St. Nicholas. Big shout out to all my people from St. Nicholas and Ridgewood, Queens. Really, like I said, this is Bushwick. You know, now we're in Bushwick. See that yellow line on the floor? That's the borderline. I came to this neighborhood when I was 8 years old. I'm 50 years old now. That was 42 years ago. You know what it is? I got to make sure not to cover the microphone too, because the mic is right there. If my finger's on it, then they don't hear nothing. Yeah. And you can't, the phone is slippery, so you got to try to get a good grip on it. Yeah, man, a lot of you people got to recognize this.
From the Dollar Tree. You want to go Dollar Tree containers with lines and walk up to Myrtle?
You want to go to Dollar Tree first, then get the 99-cent store stuff, then go to the Big R? All right, cool, yeah. That used to be called the Big R. Now it's called Food Bazaar. You know, I remember when the Big R made they did construction, they had these big old shopping carts. Yeah, man, this Bushwick. I've been in this neighborhood the whole 50 years. Even when I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant, my pops, rest in peace, Johnny Lowe, my pops used to take us over here when we lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant. He used to take us over here to get the food from the supermarket. We used to eat in the Chinese food place over here too. So the whole 50 years, man, this is my neighborhood. Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, and Ridgewood. You know? And the least amount of time I spent in the neighborhood was Bed-Stuy. And I stood close too. You know, I'm familiar with Patchen, Ralph, Howard, Putnam, Madison, Jefferson, Halsey. But I didn't venture too far off when I was young. My brother knows more people from the Stuy. You know, look, they turned it into a little market. You know, that's the Wyckoff Avenue L station right there. Yeah, this is the Wyckoff Avenue L station. The gates in Wyckoff on the L, Palmetto in Wyckoff. And like I said, they turned it into like almost like a little flea market. Big shout to Smelly Mel's, the diner right there, man. The train station underneath. Big shout to Smelly Mel's, man. The diner. Only OGs remember that. All this stuff you seeing right here is iconic. You know, this is Myrtle Avenue and Whitecroft. You know, like I said, this is a very, very famous spot in New York. You know, many people are familiar with that McDonald's, the ABC on the corner. That's the bus depot. That's Dollar Tree. All this stuff used to be stuff. Like I said before, Casa Quisqueya. Yeah, man. That's where you used to go to get the baggies right there. Everybody, you know. We about to step into Dollar Tree. I'm gonna let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? My wife's with me. I gotta have my focus on so we could shop or whatever. When I come back on, I'll probably go live. Big shout out to Bushwick, man. It's your boy Spank Dog. I'll catch y'all later.